Hello everybody, welcome into our channel. I don't consider myself to be much of a newsman, but I'm coming to you today with some big news from the Pokémon Company International directly. This is straight off their press release from their press site. If you haven't heard the big news yet, I assure you, if you interact with Pokemon cards in any way, as an investor, as a player, as a collector, as an online reseller, this will have an impact to your hobby, to your business for years, decades to come. This really matters. If you haven't seen by now, I'm going to put the press release up here. Pokemon has just entered into an agreement to acquire Excell brands. Pause the video if you'd like to read the press release in its entirety. But basically, what Pokemon is saying in plain English is that they are vertically integrating their distribution pipeline. They use very pleasant language in the press release, of course. They care about customers. They care about availability of product. They're doing this for the right reasons. And in general, this is, in my opinion, a very positive announcement for the hobby, for competitive players, for casual players, especially in collectors. This will potentially have some downside, and we'll talk about that a little bit. But by and large, to the average person who interacts with the Pokemon brand, this vertical integration, this acquisition of Excell brands is big news. Excell is definitely not a household name, but if you're unfamiliar with how Pokemon distributes their cards, Excell is actually their largest US distributor for trading cards, collectibles. When Pokémon Company International, TPCI, when cards are printed, they are not sold directly to you at big box retailers by the Pokemon Company. Pokemon sells those cards to distributors to distribute as they see appropriate. It is Excell brands that monitors territory, restocks the shelves at Target, and ultimately enters into pricing agreements with Walmart, Target, Dollar General, you name it, Best Buy. When it comes to Pokemon's acquisition now of Excell brands, this matters for several key reasons. One of the main ones is that Pokemon is aiming to improve fulfillment and the customer experience overall. They're looking to invest long-term, this is a long-term play, in their distribution capabilities. Ultimately, it means supporting the trading card ecosystem long-term. I fully expect to see some kind of additional press and speculation about what this means, but in real terms, to average people like me and you and other collectors on the street, what this means is that Pokemon now has more control over their supply chain. Whereas before, once those cards were sold to Excell, or MJ Holdings is the other large US distributor for big box retail, once those cards were sold, Pokemon didn't have very much that they could do at that point. Excell could choose to hold product back. They could stockpile in a warehouse and release at a later date or for higher prices. Excell is essentially why you can see different prices for retail other than MSRP from Pokemon. Why Walmart or Target or Best Buy might be charging different prices for big box retailers. Again, better availability, less empty shelves, less scalpability of product. That's huge. When we have more consistency in distribution, more availability, more consistent product waves, ultimately, Pokemon has more pricing control now. Pokemon distribution may prioritize some of those larger big box retailers, which, as I alluded to up front, the potential downside here could unfortunately be that Pokemon may deprioritize some smaller distributors. Now, I'm an optimistic person, and I truly do believe that they have the best intentions with this. It's a business synergy. From a purely a business standpoint, I get it. I understand the vertical integration. It makes sense to me. But Pokemon has a 30-year history now of putting competitive players first, putting collectors first. When it comes to serving who they want as their target market, they're not trying to serve scalpers. They're not trying to sell to people who are looking to buy and hold as an investment. The only real reason that investability or scalpability has come about, besides long-term, natural, organic demand and scarcity, but when it comes to the short term, it's some of these random arbitrage that's possible between what might exist for somebody locally if they're willing to fight and clear shelves at Costco because they know that they can flip on the secondary market. Hopefully, some of that should now go down. There's supply chain changes coming. This is coming down the pipe and hopefully will reduce scalpability and big retail flip opportunities, less high-low supply issues from stores when this distributor arbitrage is quelled, so to speak. But again, there could be some impacts for your local card shop. So I hope that there are not. I hope that local card shops, places where competitive players go to play in tournaments, I truly do hope and believe that they are not going to get ultimately deprioritized, but you never know. What you can do as a buyer, as a player and collector, is to support local shops. Obviously, help them keep their rent paid. If they're good to you, be good to them. Support them. But ultimately, again, this is for the average person, the mom and dad, the grandma and grandpa buying Pokemon for their kids. This is a very good thing overall to be able to see that Pokemon is protecting their brand. They want stable supply and pricing. They want what is good for the long-term hobby health. Ultimately, that is also what is bad for quick flip scalpers. Goes hand in hand. I don't know if that was the ultimate goal in mind from Pokemon, of course. They want to get product into people's hands. They are a business. They want to make money. The way that they can do that is simultaneously what is good for their brand. They protect it. They get product out to people. So, some questions for everybody at this point. What does the community here think is going to happen to prices? Are prices going to go up or down in the short term, in the long term? What do you think this is going to have an impact on, making things easier to find, harder to find? Do you think that there's going to be fallout for local card shops? Again, I voiced my opinion. I hope that there isn't, but I do see a remote future possibility where that could be the case, whether intended or not. So hopefully, again, good news. Take it, share it, use it for what you will. I will continue to try to bring some additional market updates, business updates, things like this to my channel to try to get out in front of big stories like this. I haven't seen that many people covering this yet because it's extremely hot off the press. So hopefully I was able to bring you some education. And again, I'm very glad to have you as a part of our community. Please like and subscribe if you got some value out of this video, and I hope to see you in my next video. Have a great day. See you later. Bye.